This is the Summer Lake Railway. Located in the south of England near Plymouth, it is the world's largest heritage railway, containing steam and diesel engines from all over the country, from the LMS, the LNER, the GWR, the Southern, and even British Railways. The railway's passenger trains provide some wonderful scenery, from runs along the water, to the Rocky Mountains, and even wonderful greenery. The railway has it all. The railway also has several goods contracts that are just as important as the passenger trains, carrying things like coal, fuel, and lumber. No matter what happens, the engines always work hard to prove themselves worthy. Our story begins at Somerville Sheds, where the engines are being prepared for their day's work ahead of them. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
So, anybody know what they're doing today?
Not yet. Mr. Waters hasn't arrived yet, so we don't know our jobs for today.
I see. Hopefully he shows up soon. I am dying to get straight to work.
You lads won't have to wait for much longer. Here he comes now.
And sure enough, Sir Arthur Frederick Waters, the man in charge of the railway, strolled up to give the engines their jobs. Good morning, engines.
Morning, sir.
Now, I am incredibly busy today, so let me go ahead and give you all your jobs. Murphy, you'll be taking some local services today. Mitch, you'll be handling the vintage train of our older coaches. Lewis, you'll also be on local services along with Murphy. Michael, you'll be on coal deliveries today. Alistair and Clyde, you're both on commuter services. And Gannon, you'll be on the White Rose. Everyone got that?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Now then, I'll need to give the other engines their jobs, so I advise you all get straight to work. Well, I guess we all better get to it then. See you all later. And with that, Mitch went off to find his coaches. Soon, Mitch was at Greenwood Lake Station with his coaches. As soon as all the passengers got on board, the guard blew his whistle, and Mitch was off. In no time at all, Mitch was coasting down the line with his train. He enjoyed this very much. With the bright sunny weather and the wind blowing past his funnel, he reveled in this as he cruised along almost effortlessly. It is such a great day to take a stroll along the line while appreciating the bright sunny weather, he thought to himself. Mitch was making excellent time with his train. The coaches came along quietly and the passengers were singing his praises. He arrived at all of his stops right on time, and the passengers came out to admire at him. Mitch thought nothing could ruin this day, but that was about to change. Soon, Mitch was approaching Hinton, the middle station on the line, when he got an awful surprise. Oh no, you've got to be kidding me! There, sitting in the platform adjacent from him, was Lenox, the Class 37 that caused nothing but inconveniences for the engines. Well, if it isn't little tiny Mitch and his train of outdated piles of scrap. Can you shut up for once in your miserable, pathetic life, Lenox? I'm not in the mood to listen to your bullcrap today, okay? Oh, and why is that? Have you finally accepted the fact that I, a prestigious diesel locomotive, am far better than you, a tiny tank engine? Oh, really? Well, I recall 20 years ago, a certain diesel begging for mercy by our previous manager to be saved. Puh, I was just going through a small phase back then. I'm still stronger, faster, and more efficient than you will ever be. A tank engine is absolutely nothing. That's a lie and you know it. We tank engines are very versatile. Why do you think over 850 of my kind were built? And besides, you better watch your attitude when you're around me, because I'm not afraid to dump you into the sea when you're not paying attention. Ugh, forget it. I have more important things to do than waste my time with a pile of scrap like you. And with a cough and splutter of his engine, Lennox fumed away with his train, snarling at Mitch as he departed. Ugh, God, I hate that guy. He never stops bragging about how flashy or modern he is. Well, he needs to be brought back down to earth and realize he's just as outdated as us steam engines. Just then, the guard blew his whistle and Mitch departed once more. For the rest of the journey, Mitch complained bitterly to his driver and fireman about how much of a nuisance Lennox was. I just can't stand that guy. When will he ever learn that he's not the future? I wouldn't worry about it, Mitch. You're 5 times the agent he will ever be. I know, but still, this has been going on for too long. Eventually, Mitch calmed down and continued to enjoy the scenery as he continued along the line. Eventually, Mitch arrived at Louisville, the final station on the line. He eased to a stop as he approached the platforms. Once he was uncoupled from the train, he ran off to the coal chute and water tower to be refueled for his return trip. Once that was done, he ran round to the other end of his train for his return journey. Once he was coupled up, and all the passengers got on board, the guard blew his whistle, and Mitch began his journey back down the line. I hope we don't run into Lenox on the return journey, he thought to himself. I'm sorry to say that Mitch was very, very wrong. A little while later, Mitch was at Ludlow Station collecting some more passengers when he heard a familiar purring noise. Huh! Imagine running backwards on a train! Luckily we diesels don't have to do that! Screw off, you groggy old tractor! But Lennox just ignored him and continued on his way. Before Mitch got the chance to say anything, the guard blew his whistle and he was off once more. Stupid Lenox for calling me little and weak. I'll show him! I'll show him! That night at the sheds, Mitch was complaining loudly to the other engines about Lennox's treatment of him. It's hypocritical, I tell you! He keeps belittling me for being outdated when he's outdated too! Mitch, we've all had to deal with him, not just you. I know, but he's been here for over 20 years! You'd think he would have learned his lesson by now, but no! He still keeps on bragging about himself! Well, you do have a point about that. A rat nuisance he is. I agree. Now, if there was only a way we could deal with him, I wouldn't worry about it too much, Mitch. You'll get your chance soon enough. I hope so. Karma needs to strike him as soon as possible. Luckily for Mitch, his chance came a lot sooner than he anticipated. The next day, Mitch was shunting at Hinton Yard. He didn't mind this, as he often enjoyed quiet work. He was shunting a few vans for Merrick's goods train when the yard foreman came running up to him. He had a frantic look on his face. Oh, Mitch, thank goodness you're here. I need your help desperately. Why? What's wrong, sir? I just got word that Lennox has failed on the Summer Lake Pass, and I need you to push him up to Louisville. Mitch began to chuckle at these words. Well. The mighty strong Lennox needs help from a tiny tank engine. Oh, the irony. Please, Mitch, this is urgent. The train has an important connection to meet, and it cannot miss it. No need to tell me twice, sir. I'm on it. And without a second to lose, Mitch raced off to find the stricken diesel. Around 15 minutes later, Mitch arrived at the Summer Lake Pass, where he found Lennox complaining bitterly about the situation he was in. How did this happen to me? I was perfectly fine yesterday, and who the heck is that behind me? Lennox looked back in disgust as he saw Mitch couple up to the back of his train. Really? Of all engines they could have sent, they sent him? Why couldn't he have sent Roland or Tyler? Besides, he's just a tiny tank engine. What can he do? Tiny tank engine, eh? Watch me. With plenty of sand on the rails and a good grip, Mitch began to push the train all by himself with no strain. Lennox could do nothing but stare in shock as Mitch began to force the train up the hill. For once in his life, Lennox was completely at a loss for words. Mitch's puffs were deep, but he showed no signs of slowing down one bit. How? How is this possible? How's this for a tiny tank engine, huh? Lennox couldn't muster up a reply. He just sulked as Mitch continued to push the train along. The Summer Lake Pass was long and steep, but despite this, Mitch continued to press on, desperate to make sure the train reached its connection on time. Mitch was also starting to feel tired and worn out, but even this wasn't enough to stop him.
Must make sure the passengers reach their connection on time.
At last, the sight of Louisa approached. Mitch was relieved that the journey was almost over. The HST sitting in the mainline platform stared in awe at Mitch's accomplishment. That's it, Mitch. You've got it. You're almost there.
I've got this. I've got this. I've done it.
Hey, Lenox, how does it feel having to be helped by a tank engine? Yeah, not so revolutionary now, are you? Mitch is far more reliable and superior to you. Hear that, Lennox? They're more modern than you, and they think I'm more reliable. Lennox didn't reply. He just growled. Well, it was nice to see you again, Clarence. You too, Jordan. Nice to see you too, Mitch. But we've got to take these passengers back to Paddington. Hope to see you again soon. And with that, the two high-speed diesels leapt with their train, leaving Mitch behind with the failed engine. Once they were clear at the junction, Mitch spoke to Lennox. Right then, once I've sorted these coaches, I'll take you down to the works. Once Mitch had sorted all the coaches out, he took Lennox down to Somerville Works. Mr. Waters was there. He had two very different speeches for the two engines. Mitch stopped outside of the works to greet his controller. Well, Mitch, I recently got a call from the Louisa station master. He was swarmed by people who congratulated you for your efforts. Well done. Why, thank you, sir. Happy to be of assistance. As for you, Lennox, I'm ashamed of you. I gave you a second chance to work, and you still keep up this diesels are better than Steamy's behavior. As punishment, I'm taking you off passenger trains and putting you on scrap work.
But sir, who will be looking after my coaches?
I'm sure Roland would love a change of pace. Now, Mitch, take him into the works. I don't want to deal with him any longer. Of course, sir. And with that, Mitch took the disgraced Lennox into the works to be repaired. But Mitch wasn't done taunting the stricken diesel just yet. Well, Lennox, for a tiny tank engine, I'm stronger than you think, wouldn't you say? Ugh, I get it, you made your point. Now can you please leave? Mitch obliged and began to back out of the works. He had learned a very valuable lesson that day. No matter how new or modern you are, the only thing that matters is your work ethic and dedication.